Hi there guys, it's Tony here from Caveman Pops, and it is a beautiful morning and a lovely day to spend the day with kind of like-minded geek people. I am here in Allendale for the Monster Man event. We're going to go in, we're going to have a look around, going to speak to some of the people, and it's going to be a lovely day. Okay, so Mike, welcome to the Monster Men event. How does it feel coming to an event that's more based around kind of the things that you work with?
It's really nice. I mean, it's my second visit up here to Neil. I'd wanted to come and see the museum for a while. And obviously I'd loaned Proton for him a year or so back. And it's nice to actually have this side of the industry celebrated a little bit more. And all the Comic-Cons tend to sort of focus far more on the actors. And so to get colleagues like Robert and Steve up here, I mean, I haven't seen these guys socially in ages, so it's nice for us to just meet up and talk about some of the stuff we were doing when we were in our 20s, because it's a long time ago, and just see where we are now. We've all come quite a long way in our various careers. And Doctor Who always seems to be this thread running through it all, so it's nice to come and actually get it looked at in context from beginning to end.
Does it feel good that so many people have actually come to an event that's based around this?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, I'm really pleased to see a number of youngsters who keep coming up and saying they want to get into this business. And it's trying to sort of give advice to them as to where best to look, because the industry has evolved so much in the last 15, 20 years. The advent of 3D printing and CAD and computer graphics means that it's a completely different landscape to the effects department I joined back in the 80s, and trying to get that across to people and trying to sort of advise them which directions they need to be pushing in. I'm hoping that we can find a route that they can follow that still allows them to have as much fun as I had, but it is a different route.
Yeah, but you still enjoy it, it's still fun work to be doing.
So I've stepped away from this a little bit in recent years, and it's mainly because I find the bigger the budgets and the more corporate the projects you work on become, the less control you have. So whereas in the past, in the 80s, we would have had the chance to design, build, paint and operate our models and props, everything is now given to you by the art department. You may be given a bunch of 3D printed parts that just need assembling, somebody else will paint them, and a different crew will go away and film them. And that fragmentation of the job I used to do with my colleagues all under one roof means that I'm not enjoying it as much as I used to. So I'd rather sort of step back whilst my memories of working on this are still good ones.
So Ian, welcome to the Monster Man event, obviously from men that make the monsters to obviously men that plays the monsters. Apart from the obvious, how did you get into this line of work?
Well, what do you mean, apart from the obvious?
The height.
Oh, right. Well, that was it. I responded to a casting call. A casting director got in touch and said, "We're looking for people like you. Will you audition?" And the audition process wasn't straightforward. I had to go to London, then to Prague, and it was only about 6 weeks after my first audition that I got a phone call from the the producer, offered me the part, and that was Alien versus Predator. And that was 20 years ago this year. Well, the release of the film is 20 years ago.
Well, that's great. So how does it feel being in an event that celebrates just that area of your work?
It's quite gratifying, actually. You know, very rarely, other than when we're making the movie, I very rarely get to see people actually make the costumes outside of the studio, outside of the department.
Yeah. So it's strange for an event like this.
Strange? No, I wouldn't call it strange. No, I've known Neil now for quite a while, and I actually he invited me. I don't know when. And it's only when I saw something that he posted online on social media that I realised I hadn't actually responded to his email.
But you're here, so that's what makes a difference. Is it nice meeting fans? That people like the characters that you've played?
Because, you know, without the fans, we would struggle to make, you know, these shows and films over and over and over again. And it's, you know, quite often fan-driven.
Yeah. Good. So it's work that you enjoy doing as well?
Absolutely.
Right. Welcome to the Monster event, Stephen.
Thank you, it's great.
The question I'm basically asking everyone, how does it feel to be an event that's based around the industry that you work in and not everything else?
It's really exciting. I mean, genuinely, I have had a ball doing this. I think I've done quite a few conventions over the years. This is it's very intimate and it's lovely chatting with everybody. And I've had such a lovely response, you know, to the stuff that we've done from everybody here. It's been really joyous, and it's always fun coming and talking about the work that you've done. I don't know, just today, I don't know if it's the people or whatever it is, it's particularly enjoyable today. It's been lovely.
So there's a lot of love over it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, what I'm thrilled about is that the period that we worked on the show, which is it's the Sylvester McCoy period, at the time, it was a little bit Marmitey. People either loved it or they didn't, or, you know, or most people didn't express a view that wasn't one or the other. You either loved it or you hated it. It's now, I think people are revisiting it, and it was, I think, a bit ahead of its time. It's stylistically, and in lots of ways, it's not dissimilar to a lot of the new series. It's very comic strippy, it's fast, and it's, you know, a lot of it's really quite deep and dark, a lot of it. So I really enjoyed some of the reaction today to you know, even characters like Fifi or you know the little baby from Delta, because they were shows that at the time I don't think people were sure about, and seeing the love that people have for even those slightly oddball shows. This has been really lovely.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed the event. So
I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
It's going really well then.
Yeah. I imagined myself sitting here looking at my phone. I wasn't sure anybody was going to, you know, come over, but it's been really lovely. And I mean, it's the work is the thing. And it's the first time the Fifi puppet has been out on anything like this for a decade at least, if not more. So it's quite nice, rather than them just sitting at home, to actually get them out and let people have a close-up look.
So, Robert, welcome to the Monster Men event. How does this event compare to other events?
It's a lot more intimate. You get a chance to chat to people on a much more personal basis compared to some of the bigger conventions. So it's quite good in that respect.
So How does it feel to be invited to an event that's based primarily around the work that you do?
It's really nice to be here with other friends, makers who have been working on the show over the years. So yeah, it's quite nice to have a convention where the focus is more on the craft behind the costumes, models and creatures, rather than focusing on the actors quite so much.
So it's a chance for you guys to be in the limelight.
A little bit, yeah, which is nice to get a bit of recognition, and also nice for us to meet up with each other because we're all mates as well, so that's good.
While I've got you, I do have to ask the question. Obviously, you were tasked with redoing the Sea Devils.
Yes.
How daunting was that, knowing that it was a beloved classic character?
It was quite daunting more for the fact that there was very little time to do it. They were originally going to go down a very different route with the heads, using prosthetics. So by the time I was asked to do the heads, most of the build time allocated had already gone. So I only had about a week to do the first head that was then camera tested, and then about another week to make the rest of them. So there wasn't really time to worry too much about it being daunting. It was just a case of getting on with it, doing it really, but trying to be as faithful as possible to the original John Friedlander sculpt.
How do you feel that it was received by the fans?
I think the fans were, as far as I know, quite happy that we kept the original design. Obviously the costume's very different. But the head still is pretty much the original John Friedlander head design, and with that in mind, I tried to make sure that he was credited in the credits with the original design, which indeed he was.
So, Neil, the Monster Man event has come to an end.
Yep.
How do you feel it went?
Well, I was very, very busy today. It was packed. I had a little bit of a moment when I saw how many people I'd actually managed to get guests-wise. It was like, wow. But I think it made for a lovely day. And I think it felt a compact event. But the biggest thing was, my goal was that people could actually talk to the guests. And everyone said they'd had quality time, a nice time to chat to people they knew about, they'd seen the work, and that was what I wanted to achieve. So I'm really pleased everyone's had that experience.
Good. I'm glad you're happy with it. I think everyone's really enjoyed the event.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that, because I worry so much. It's hard to be objective and see that, do you know what I mean? It's really weird. I'm talking to you and Mike Tucker's walking behind you with the original Sea Devil head, and it's slightly distracting. But yes, yeah. So I think hopefully the guests have enjoyed it. I just want everyone to have enjoyed it, and as long as that's been the case. And obviously it was very strange seeing the video about my work, but I think everyone seemed to like it, so that was really good. Yeah, lovely.